Some questions about the term localism. In my previous video, I talked a little about my philosopher friend Rupert. In our discussions of politics, he called himself a nationalist. It's a bit of an ill-defined term, really, but he was that was very important that New Zealand is New Zealand. I, on the other hand, sort of on the spot, made up the term localist to describe myself. By that, I meant that I really do care about the handful of villages near to me far more than about the rest of New Zealand, and B, I don't want the bureaucracy in the city of Wellington to define my community for me. Now, since then, I have been seeing the term localist and localism pop up around the internet here and there in unexpected places. This shouldn't be entirely surprising, as all I did was stick ism on the end of a very common word, and this is the English language. Everyone is bound to do that. Now, I just did a web search of the term localism, and pretty much the first thing to pop up after the Wikipedia page, which said that the term has quite a bit of history, more associated with sort of left, green, socialist kind of politics, and I mean the combination of all three at once. Behind that was localism.nz, and I start looking around that, and there's some subtle shibboleths on that website, some little turns of phrase that give clues to what side of politics they're on. And on closer inspection, I find that it is run by a quango, a quasi-non-government organisation called Local Government New Zealand. They are an organisation that council members outsource their thinking to, and for all the talk about trying to increase local democracy from LGNZ, it seems really their function is to make sure that ideas coming out of the United Nations are thrust upon New Zealanders. That's what LGNZ seems to be. I've had a run-in with one of their people, a librarian friend of mine, should say, used to work in a library, not from Liberia. I'm quite bad at my pronunciation of those two words. Anyway, she was all happy to have someone from Wellington, the capital of New Zealand, visiting our little library. And then she found out that this library specialist from LGNZ is the person who's been pushing for librarians to do the job that the office staff at district councils are supposed to be doing, and holding the library service hostage to force unpopular local government policies. I do need to investigate these matters further, but it's interesting to watch how these things happen. Maybe we live in a moment when Anglophones are going to be suddenly calling themselves localist, regardless of what they believe, because the degree to which we live online now is getting quite oppressive. I don't just mean being forced to do things through the internet, but also that the internet is this monster devouring local community. And quite ironically, I am saying that as I make a video or audio recording with some pictures for the internet. That last thing about the internet, I have been working on a compromise between pulling out of the internet entirely and running headlong into it the way that everyone else is, which I'll be covering in a later video, I guess, and also just give more thoughts on that matter. Anyway, for now, I'm just giving an update on the state of my mind and what I'm seeing going on in the world. So that'll be me, Ryan McCoskery, signing off.